Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Phoenix Sandy, and today, hey man, we got some story time, you feel me? So, I'm gonna do some 2K gameplay. I don't know how to do voiceover over a video, because I would have done that. And basically, I'm playing the Detroit Pistons, uh, and we're up by 9 in the second quarter. So, I'm gonna give y'all story time on how I got into my first fight. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I ain't gonna lie, there's a little bit of a backstory I need to give y'all, background I need to give y'all for this story time. So basically, this happened in middle school, right? I ain't never really had a real fight before. Every single like altercation was just I slap you, you slap me back. I try to slap you back, I miss, and then somebody break us up. You feel me? That's not a real fight. Usually things that include slaps don't ain't really fights. So in case I make it, y'all gonna probably find a tape somewhere. It's lost media, even for the people that were there to watch the fight. But basically, the people that watched the fight, there was, it was they knew what was gonna happen, and they didn't want to break it up. It was just there. Everybody was recording. Everybody was enjoying the show. You feel me? So basically, back in middle school in eighth grade, you know what I'm saying? We had like all of us from the group smoked, cigarettes, and we used to go at break time because we had a 5 minute break. I don't know, those. We got some communist ass schools in here in Romania, bro. It's not really like the U.S. ones where you get like a fuck you call it, bro. Like lunch and shit. Nah, you really just have half a day. Usually from you start school at 7:30 in the morning, end school at 1 p.m. 1:15 p.m. quarter past 1 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the rest of the day free for yourself. It used to be like this because you used to have a lot of homework back in the day, but now fellas like me, they don't really give a fuck about the homework. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? We had 45-minute classes and 5 minute breaks. But we was always late for the classes. Even the teachers was late in some of the classes for like 3 5 minutes because they knew the breaks was too short for us. So basically, in these breaks, we went to go smoke cigarettes. When I say smoke, just like that, I usually mean cigarettes. If I was talk about weed, I would specify. So we used to go in the backyard of the school, and it was really crowded and shit. Fellas used to do the fucking horse shit and all that type of shit. Play catch and all that. So basically, there's this like what the fuck do you call it? The thing where you put from the shit. The farmers have where they put all the horses and shit, and that type of shit. But it really ain't that. Inside there ain't no horses for real. They're just like tables and chairs and shit. So we would go around that and go in a really tight place where ain't nobody really know about that place. It's like right between that type of building and the fucking walls of the end of the school. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we would just go there and smoke until the bell would ring and we go back to class. And it was this weird shit. Like in the group, it was really this like, fucking like a leadership. There was like ranks to this shit. You know what I'm saying? There was like the big dudes. The big dudes are the cool dudes, the ones you don't want to mess with for real, unless you want to make it obvious that it's a joke. But if they piss you off, you can't really do nothing about it unless you're a big dude yourself. And if you're a big dude yourself, big dudes don't really do shit to one another. So they usually pick on the smaller dudes. In this case, I'm one of them. You feel me? So you would probably tell me, bro, why would you hang around with these dudes if they fucking pick on you all the time? Well, here's why. It was either I hang around with them or I hang around with weirdos that watch anime and shit like that and talk English like it's their native language. And you know how it would be. Those fellas that say, "Oh, literally," like all that type of shit. I'm not trying to get into that. So I'd rather get spat on and shit than have to do something with all that. So basically, what I'm trying to say is there was also from the big dudes picking on smaller dudes. It quickly escalated from sixth grade all the way to eighth grade. They escalated from just making fun of you to fucking spitting on you and shit. So when you turn around, they spit on your back, on your jacket. You know what I'm saying? And then, you couldn't really afford to spit back at them because you don't know if they might swing and shit. So if they swing, you're done for. Like it's common knowledge. It ain't really much you can do about it. So basically, I was there and it was this break, and this dude that thinks he's one of the big guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just call the dudes you don't want to mess with. I'm gonna just call them the big guys. You feel me? So there's this one dude. His name was Costin. Uh, I don't know how to fuck tell y'all what his name is. I'm gonna just say straight up his Romanian name. His name was Costin, and he would just he thought he was one of the big guys. You feel me? And he was tall, and that basically what made him think that he could try and prove himself to be one of the big guys. But in his mind, he had to prove himself to the other big guys to show them that he's one of the big guys. So he had to make fun of the other little kids. I mean, little kids, short kids like me, to that would stay there in the back of the fucking in the back of the backyard, to prove himself to the big dudes. But little did he know, behind his back, everybody made fun of him and talked shit about him because ain't nobody really take him serious. He got a weird ass haircut. He one of those fluffy hair ass weirdos. You feel me? And then all that shit. So basically, this what happened. Oh shit! What a bad shot. Whatever. So basically, he wanted to prove himself to them other fellas, and then he spat on me. And I'm really the type of guy I like to get into fights, especially against people that it's kind of obvious I'm gonna get my ass beat. Like I'm about to get my ass whooped in this bitch. You feel me? So I see this dude spit on me, and I just decide, what, I'm just gonna let him be. Let him have his fun and shit like that. And I'm gonna just try and clean that shit off by scratching myself off the wall. You feel me? So I do that, but then I realize this dude was actually having fun and shit, and he was laughing and all that, and he was looking at the other dudes, and them big dudes was laughing at him for trying to be cool, but he was thinking that was laughing at me, that because he made a supposedly good joke, but really that wasn't the case. So basically, at some point, if you do another left, once you do left behind that fucking building, if you do another left, there's like this even tighter space that we would go if we would stay there for more than just a break. If we skipped class and whatever, there was this tighter place where fellas would go and piss. They go and take just piss there. It was like more separate. It's not like in. You would understand. It sounds weird, but it really ain't that weird. Like it's like you go behind the tree to pee in the park. Like it ain't really all that. And we do that because if we go all the way into the school to pee and then all the way back, fucking the school would already have ended. You feel me? So basically that was the thing. He went in there and wanted to pee, but while he was trying to make himself go through, I spat on his back because I realized who the fuck this dude think he is. You feel me? So then I leave, but because ain't nobody really see me spit on him, but then when they saw me run away, they realized something was off. So they look at this dude and they see the spit and they automatically knew who had done that because I was just coincidentally running away and going back into the school. So then I was already running and I was running in one of the D's. Now, let me tell you what the D's are. Basically, there's these classes that are half below ground level and half, at the first floor. I don't know how else to explain. There surely is a name for it in English, but English ain't my first language for real. So, I'm gonna just tell y'all word for word. So it's basically half of the class is lightened by the sun and then the other one is like under the ground. The other half is under the ground. So basically, those classes were really small. It had D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6. 6 of these classes. D6 would sometimes be locked for some reason, and you feel me? I was going to one of those classes because they was really small. Back in we started middle school once the whole COVID shit had happened. You feel me? So basically, we had made two groups, and we would do English classes in two different groups. Half of the class would do them upstairs in the real class, and then the other half would do it here in the D's. You know what I'm saying? So basically, um, I would go there, and then it would almost always one of these classes would be empty because what are the odds every single D is occupied by somebody doing an English class? Like, there's not really, the school ain't even that big, so almost always is one of these open. So I would go in there and I would just open the PC that was in there for the teachers. I would quickly install Roblox and I'll play Roblox on that bitch. You feel me? And I'm not really a big Roblox player. I'm just a big Counter Strike player. So I would play the Roblox version of Counter Strike on that bitch for real. So I'm not really, but it's just the quickest game you could really download. You feel me? So long story short, I get in one of those D's. You feel me? But the thing is, half of the class you could see from the backyard. Cause like I don't know how to explain for real, but it's like, um, imagine you're in your room, right? And then let's say your room is 3 meters. It's like um 3 feet tall. The last feet at the top, it's like it's a window. But if from the outside of the room, that window is the first feet of the wall of the building because I don't know. Let me take a break and just search that up. Apparently, y'all named that bitch semi basement or semi basement. I don't really know, but whatever. Thing is, it was a semi basement, I guess, or whatever the fuck y'all want me to call it. And if you would go from the place we would go to smoke to all the way into the building, if you would really look and pay attention, you could see me in one of those D's. So apparently, one of the other short dudes like me, wanted to get rid of all the hate that was coming towards him and all the getting picked on, and he basically betrayed me because short with short the kids I was getting picked on, which was me included, kind of formed an alliance with each other, and then the big dudes formed an alliance with each other, and it was all this shit. But at the end of the day, supposedly we was gang. Now I don't really know, but whatever it is, basically this fucking one of the other short dudes betrayed me so he can get the attention off of him and guarantee himself a few more minutes of not getting picked on. You feel me? I felt betrayed. I ain't gonna lie. I felt really betrayed, and that shit pissed me off. So, he basically saw me in one of the D's, and then went straight to the dude that I spat on and told him, "Yo, he's there." So the dude, feeling kind of embarrassed and wanting to prove everybody a point, he decided he wanted to fight me. So dude came in there with the entire group who had their phones out and shit, and started confronting me. Now I was sitting there playing on the PC. I was in the middle of a round. I was about to plant the bomb. I was about to defuse the bomb. Some shit. I don't really remember. But I was playing Counter Strike basically on Roblox. So dude come in. And I immediately kind of know what the fuck is going on. I know he's about to confront me. I don't really know he was about to fight, but I know some shit was going on. So I basically turned off the PC and got up, and then and stood on one of the desks. There was 3 rows of desks, really really close to each other, like I don't even know, 5 inches away from each other. There was really small space between the desks because the class was really small. That's why we would have like half of the class in one of those bitches. You feel me? So I was standing on the second desk, and then he was standing on the first desk facing me. Um, and he basically started confronting me and shit and asking me why the fuck I spat on him and whatever. And I told him, bro, we're even. You spat on me first. And he was like, yeah, but I don't take no disrespect from you and whatever the fuck. And then next thing you know, I had a hoodie on. And next thing you know, he grabbed my hoodie and he pulled that shit down so I can't really see nothing. And right after he do that, he spit on me. He spit on my lap. So right now, I can't take it anymore. It's been like 2 consecutive years of me taking all of this bullshit in. You feel me? I'm getting pissed the fuck off. This dude is also like I wasn't really friends with him either. Like behind the scenes when he was just one on one, some of the other dudes I was actually friends with, but you know what I'm saying. This dude I was never really friends with behind the scenes either. Like we was never one on one. We had nothing to do with each other. You feel me? So basically, that dude spat on my lap, and I snapped. You feel me? I snapped, and I just got up and kind of hugged him, wrestled him, whatever you want to call it, and then just went towards him and whatever, and kind of like pushed him towards the fucking what you call it, towards that desk he was sitting on. So as I pushed him towards that desk he was sitting on, and he's now pushed against the wall and whatever, um, he started trying to smack me. You know, he trying to hit me with trying to land fists. My bad. He trying to land fists on in my head and whatever on my skull. So at that moment, you know, I realized I gotta do something. I can't just wrestle this dude to the floor. That shit ain't gonna help at all. So basically, I for some reason right next to him where he was standing, there was this half of a chocolate box. It was empty. It was like half of a chocolate box that was empty right there. And for some reason, while I was arguing with him, I was kind of slightly nervous. So I picked that shit up and started playing with it. You know what I'm saying? I started like folding it and whatever. And then once I started realizing that, bro, I gotta do something against him, and started trying to smack the shit out of him, bro, that dude, I started smacking him with the chocolate box. Now everybody started laughing about it. Why they was like, oh, ooh, ooh, you know how kids be, you feel me? You know how kids be when somebody fighting and they watching, you know, especially when they're recording. So basically, they started doing the oh, ooh, and they started laughing because they saw I was fucking hitting him with the chocolate box. With my right fist, I hit him, and then with the left fist, I started hitting him with the chocolate box like I was slapping him. So basically, I ain't gonna lie. Once I snapped, I started pressing all the buttons, bro. I started pressing all the buttons and just swinging left and right. I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. I just knew I had to make some contact. Cause bitch, I can't let this shit slide anymore. So basically, this dude keep fucking hitting me, and I hit him left, right, bro. It looked like I was swimming in that bitch. I ain't gonna lie. It looked like I was fucking swimming. But whatever. So at the end of the day, at the end of the uh at the end of my point, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say, but whatever. So while I'm smacking him, he's kind of getting blinded by those smacks. You feel me? He can't really do nothing about it, but he just keeping hold of the fact that he has this advantage of holding my hoodie. You know what I'm saying? He's still keeping hold of my hoodie. He's not letting go of my hoodie. I still can't see shit. I can only just feel him. So I keep smacking him, and then at some point, dude kind of gets up and pushes me off of him. Once he pushes me off of him, now I'm not letting go of the hug. He's not letting go of my hoodie. I'm not letting go of this wrestle hug and whatever. So basically, we get up in that little space, and then we started wrestling each other. I started pushing him. He started pushing me, and we ain't really making no progress because there's really no space in that bitch. So I keep moving him, and he keep moving me, and one way or another, he basically, because he's like 5 inches taller than me, I forgot to mention that, and he also supposedly did boxing. He kind of managed to put me down to the floor and put his knee on my back and shit like that, and try to humiliate me because he knew I was being recorded and whatever. And then he started trying to laugh it off and shit, like he didn't really get smacked the fuck out of. And walked back to class, and everybody left apart from this one dude. He's one of the big guys, but really for real, he's one of my friends though, you know. And I can't really ignore what he did bad to me with all this big guy shit, but I can't really ignore all the good he did to me with being a friend and whatever. So you know, I kind of got mixed feelings with this dude to this day. I don't really consider him a friend that much, but I can't really consider him an op either. Like he's like a good, he's like just a friend, like just simply a friend, nothing more, nothing less. So basically, Especially now that I grew up, he's probably more of a friend than, because now he can't really do that much to me. But whatever. I know 90% of the times if I start a fight with him, I'm gonna lose. But let's just get rid of this shit. I'm starting to deviate out of the fucking story way too much. So basically, um I'm waiting for everybody to leave so I can get back up. It was hella dusty on the floor. I just got body slammed on the floor basically. So I was cleaning the dust off my shoes and shit. And when I get up, I see this dude. I'm gonna call him. I'm not. I don't want to. You know what? I'm gonna give him his real name. This dude Matthew. He was waiting for me. You feel me? And like he trying to dap me up, and like I'm kind of mad. Like, why the fuck does he want to dap me up? He's obviously one of the big guys. I didn't know that short kid betrayed me. I thought he was one of the big guys because that's first thing that came to mind. It was one of the big guys that told him that I told the dude that I fight with that I was there. So basically I tell him, bro, why the fuck you want to dap me up? Ain't you tell him to come here? Like, I was really pissed off because he trying to play it off like we cool and shit. Like I had nothing to lose at this point. I already felt humiliated because I was put to the ground on video. I was being constantly picked on. I felt like I had nothing to lose at this point. No, not none of the bitches that I fuck with me. You feel me? I feel like I really had nothing to lose. So I was ready to fight this fella too. Like, I really was not holding back. I was about to fight this dude too, even though I was 98% gonna lose. But I really had nothing to lose, so I was going to fight him. And he said, "Bro, chill out." He kind of showed me that he was kind of surprised and at the same time mad at me that I had the audacity to raise my voice at him. You feel me? Like they had this type of rankings and shit and like superiority on you. I don't really know vocabulary, bitch. So um we go back to class at the end of the day. He clarified that it wasn't him or one of the big dudes that told him I was there. He told me, and now I don't really know. To this day, he might have lied. I ain't gonna lie. He might have lied. But he told me that it was the other short dude that kind of betrayed me. So I'm like, all right, but I play it off and we slightly cool now. So basically, we get to class. We kind of late and whatever. And I come in and I tell my teacher, what I'm saying, my bad, I'm sorry for being late. So after saying that, um, basically I sit down. I was sitting to I was sitting next to two really bad hoes, and them bitches wanted to find out what happened because they heard a lot of like instantly once the group got into the class, they all started talking about how I got into a fight. It was something really new, um, towards the rest of the class. I ain't really getting into fights. They know I'm kind of a troublemaker, but I wasn't really getting into fights. I was the class clown and shit like that. So I sit down, and the big dude, the dude that I just confronted and I realized we was cool with, Matthew, um, he showed me the tape. No, he was watching the tape. He was watching the video, and then right as he's about to finish watching the video, the bitch next to me says, "I want to watch too," you know, and one she said that right as the video finished, and he was giving me a little smirk and shit. He was like, "Hold on," you know what I'm saying? So he turned around to me, and both me and the girl realized something kind of wrong. Cause why is this dude smiling like he's not laughing? Cause if he was if he was something bad about me, he would be laughing at me. He kind of smiling though. He looked like a proud father. You know what I'm saying? And he showed both of us the fucking video. And then I realized from third person, I beat the fuck out of this bitch. You feel me? I smacked him for like 20 seconds straight and he didn't do nothing about it. All he did was hold on to my fucking hoodie like a pussy. You feel me? So basically, that's how I got into my first fight. I thought I was humiliated. It ended up being the other way. We still make jokes about it to this day. The dudes I still hang around with from that group. You feel me? Um, One of them, he's actually my barber and my dealer right now. You feel me? We actually really good. We really cool. Um, I just said dealer like as a joke. He ain't really dealer, but he used to do shit, but nah, he ain't do it. It's an inside joke. I ain't really mean that like for real. But whatever. Um, I wish he would be my dealer. I wish I had money to buy shit off of him. But anyway, um, this is how I got into my first fight. This was what had happened. This is how I thought I lost. Like, I thought I lost the fight and I thought I was fucked up. But for real, like, I was apparently I beat the shit out of him and I actually got a lot of aura. I hate this fucking word, but I actually like I wasn't really that like people used to look at me a little different for a few days after that shit happened. You feel me? Like there was kind of giving me a little more respect. You feel me? They was giving me a little more respect. So unless my parents can't come back in the meantime, I'm gonna just end this video right here, and then I'm gonna do another story time, um, just in the next few minutes. So thank you very much for watching. This shit was kind of funny as hell. I feel like I still gotta work on my story time telling skills, especially because English ain't really my first language. Maybe that's what's coming into the way. So yeah, I'm really struggling to find my words and shit at sometimes. So yeah, I'm gonna sketch y'all boys. Thank you very much for watching. I wanna see y'all. Peace.